Brexiteer Bridgen claimed it was no longer possible for the UK to leave the EU without a deal at this point, following Boris Johnson's meetings with Emmanuel Macron and Angela Merkel. Speaking to Talk Radio, the Tory MP explained the Prime Minister's meetings with the French and German leaders made it clear nobody wants to be blamed for a no-deal Brexit outcome. He argued the pressure of the negotiations will not hit all parties until October and only after the risk of no-confidence motions against Boris Johnson's government in the Commons is eliminated, but that by then it will be too late to not reach an agreement with the EU. He said, "It's clear that nobody, at the end of the day, wants to be blamed for a no-deal Brexit. That's not a bad place to start from. I think the talk that we've got 30 days from now to come up with a deal is optimistic. I don't think, with still the threat of no confidence motions in a week or so time when we come back and Parliament sits, that the EU is going to be serious about renegotiating until we get to early October. But it's clear that Macron and Merkel are certainly not going to want to be blamed in this. So there's going to be some movement, but we're not going to reach a pressure point in the negotiations until October. Something that Theresa May never managed to do. She never, ever, persuaded the EU that we are ready to leave without a deal. I think they believe it now, and it's a shame that it's taken 3.5 years to get to this point," he added. "The more we prepare for no deal, the less I think we're going to need it, because it demonstrates to the EU that we are willing to leave." Asked whether he believed a deal will eventually be reached at the end of October, he replied, "I don't think it's possible to leave without a deal now because so many small deals have been done. It's very much a managed no deal which will be enhanced over the next couple of months." The British Prime Minister met with both Mrs. Merkel and Mr. Macron earlier this week, in an attempt to find a solution to the Irish border in the EU withdrawal agreement. They both agreed to give Mr. Johnson time to find an alternative to the Irish backstop, granting him 30 days to find a solution. Mr. Johnson will likely urge the EU to reconsider its Brexit stance at this weekend's G7 summit and will urge Mrs. Merkel to put pressure on European Council President Donald Tusk. Leaders from the 7 G7 member states, as well as representatives of the European Union, will meet in the French coastal city of Biarritz on the 24th of August to 26 to attend the 45th G7 summit. French President Emmanuel Macron will welcome leaders including UK's Prime Minister Boris Johnson, European Council President Donald Tusk and German Chancellor Angela Merkel. In addition, Canada's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, Italian Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte, Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe and US President Donald Trump will attend the summit. G7 will center around foreign policy, trade, inequality, climate change, the development of African partners and digital transformation as they meet in Biarritz.